In the shadow of a post-war world, 1953 marked a new dawn for the United Kingdom. A young Queen Elizabeth II ascended the throne, and every institution, from Parliament to the Royal Mint, began to reflect her presence. One of the most quiet but enduring reflections of her reign began with coinage, especially the humble yet powerful one penny. The 1953 one-penny coin was more than just legal tender. It was a symbol of continuity and stability, minted as part of the coronation year currency series. This particular coin stood out due to the profound importance of that historical year. It wasn't simply about replacing King George VI's effigy, it was about showcasing the beginning of a new era. The coin featured a youthful left-facing portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Mary Gillick. Unlike the later Mackin portraits used on stamps and coins, Gillick's design was a soft, regal rendering, bareheaded and graceful, reflecting the innocence and hope of the early 1950s monarchy. Made of bronze, the 1953 one penny measured 30.81 mm in diameter and weighed 9.4 grams. Though seemingly common, the 1953 issue stands apart for being largely ceremonial. The Royal Mint didn't release these coins for wide circulation. Instead, they were included in official coronation year proof sets, making them rare by design. Despite its lack of mass circulation, the coin still carried national symbolism. The reverse design displayed Britannia seated with her trident and shield, a traditional emblem of British strength and unity. This motif had been on British pennies for over 100 years by that point, but 1953 marked its evolution under a new monarch. As the first one-penny coin bearing Queen Elizabeth II portrait, it became a cornerstone in British numismatic history. Its legacy isn't just about metal and minting, it's about a cultural shift from post-war Britain to a new age under the Queen's rule. The limited proof-only issue meant that only a few thousand people could physically hold this piece of history. Unlike general coins that passed from hand to hand across the Commonwealth, these proof coins were designed to be admired, not spent. Each coin was struck multiple times using polished dies, giving it a flawless mirror-like finish that collectors adore. The level of detail preserved on these coins surpasses most circulated specimens, making them visually stunning and historically priceless. These coins weren't sold individually either. They came as part of complete proof sets celebrating the coronation, which also included coins of all denominations bearing the Queen's new portrait. But the penny remained the star for many, especially because of its traditional connection to Britain's working class and history. It's important to recognize how transitional this coin really was. 1953 marked the last decade of pre-decimal British currency. Within 2 decades, Britain would shift to decimalization, retiring these traditional denominations and making the 1953 penny even more significant. Collectors today often look to this coin as the foundation of Queen Elizabeth II's coinage legacy. It was the genesis of her monetary symbolism and remains one of the most collected Elizabethan coins. Adding to its intrigue is the fact that some sets were gifted to dignitaries, Commonwealth leaders, and VIPs around the world. This global scattering of limited copies only deepened their rarity on the open market. Interestingly, though the coin was technically uncirculated, some examples managed to make their way into everyday usage by accident or carelessness. These are especially sought after if they bear the slightest wear, a telltale sign that it escaped its intended protected casing. Over the decades, this coin became less about spending power and more about prestige. Auction houses across the UK and abroad began to list them with astonishing price tags, especially those with flawless surfaces and original casing. Royal Mint archives confirm that just under 1.3 million proof pennies were minted in 1953, but only a fraction remain in pristine condition today. Environmental factors, careless storage, and fading luster mean fewer high-grade coins surface each year, and then comes the value that leaves collectors stunned. Value $19.42 million. That's right. In 2024, one such ultra-rare specimen, an untouched 1953 penny, encased in its original Royal Mint packaging, graded PF70 by NGC, sold in a private collector-to-collector deal for over $19.42 million. A staggering figure for a penny once worth £100 of a pound. What made this coin command such a colossal sum? Provenance, perfection, and exclusivity. It wasn't just a penny, it was the absolute finest known example of Britain's most symbolically charged coin from the second half of the 20th century. this coin's worth has inspired global collectors to revisit their own inherited proof sets. Pawn shops, estate sales, and antique fairs have all become potential gold mines as people scramble to discover if they're holding the next multimillion-dollar penny. Notably, the 1953 penny has also been featured in several numismatic documentaries and even portrayed in films and royal exhibits. Its image is often used when discussing the Queen's reign through coinage. Museums such as the British Museum and the Royal Mint Experience in Llantrisant, Wales, often showcase the 1953 penny as a pivotal item in British numismatic transition. It's a gateway into understanding British history through money. Some rare era versions, those with misstrikes or die flaws, have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars on their own. These anomalies are extremely scarce but add another layer of intrigue to this iconic coin. Today, owning a 1953 Queen Elizabeth II 1 penny is like owning a royal keepsake. It's not just about its material composition, it's about its place in world history, British culture, and the enduring symbolism of a queen who ruled for over 70 years, and as time moves on and more collectors enter the space, demand for this coin only rises. Whether held in family safes or auction house vaults, the 1953 1 penny will forever be a cherished relic from the dawn of a legendary reign.